Yo. Yo. I'm going to be reading from the Jerusalem Bible today, Proverbs 3. I wanted to point out it says the hail is coming back. Hail trace. Watch live now. Hail trace. The hail is coming back after a quiet few days. And I sent this to my cousins who are from, well, one of whom is from Oklahoma. They're both from Oklahoma, and I believe hail trace is in Oklahoma. He, however, works for the World Bank, and as I'm trying to explain the benefits of cryptocurrency and am being shadow banned on Twitter as I'm crypto evangelizing and just generally evangelizing, I'm being banned and am lifting the ban. I'm lifting the ban by explaining within reason how terrible this is and how against wisdom this is. So, hail is in Revelation one of the signifying factors of the coming of God. It's one of the signifying elements, hail and earthquakes. And sitting here, as Christians, if you're a Christian, you're waiting for an earthquake here to signify from Revelation. First of all, this is the first time in history you can just watch it on like my live stream. You get it? Look. And this is the first time in history, and you can see up in the corner, it says Jehovah. And that name isn't being spoken by the Jehus that are sitting in front of that wall. You get it? And so that wall is going to be knocked down. Something like that. This temple doesn't really mean anything to the God whose name they don't want to pronounce. They just want to say the Shem or G-D or Lord or Adonai, which is Lord in Hebrew. Adon AI. Let's look over the Jerusalem Bible, Proverbs 3, and this is qBible, the Hebrew Old Testament transliteration, Holy Name King James Version. So I'm going to read from the Proverbs in the Jerusalem Bible. Yeah. As you can see, human magistrate. I'm wrestling with human magistrate here, as the book describes. I believe when I overcome the human magistrate, there is an earthquake here because the human magistrate's reason for existing is based around this word. You know, here in America, a lot of people claim to follow God, magistrate, right? IA is the magistrate that looks over all of them. Yeah. So, here I'm in Revelation, and going to the Proverbs. So, Proverbs 3. How to acquire wisdom. So that's what the Jerusalem Bible titles. Gives Proverbs 3 as a subtitle, as a title. My son, do not forget my teaching. By the way, this is Jews here. All these Jews, I don't think it's bad to be called a Jew because that name Jehovah, basically. Yod-He, Wav-He, it's you. The issue is over time, it's like a game of telephone that gets corrupted and stuff. Some people have taken that and they've taken that IP and they're using it to steal away reality. And all these people at this wall are empowering that in confusion land. That's Babylon. That's what Babylon means, confusion. So let me unconfuse things here by reading some of the Proverbs that these Jews agree is from God. And I agree too. My son, do not forget my teaching. Let your heart keep my principles, for these will give you lengthier days, longer years of life, and greater happiness. Let kindliness and loyalty never leave you. Tie them round your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. So shall you enjoy favor and good repute in the sight of God and man. Trust wholeheartedly in Yahweh. Put no faith in your own perception. It's trust wholeheartedly in Jehovah, in Jah Rastafari. Well, I don't believe it's Haile Selassie. Look at the birds. I don't believe I'm Dr. Doolittle either. Do a lot. And y'all got a lot to learn. Trust wholeheartedly in Yah and Jehovah. Make America the tits, yeah? Matt, yeah? Okay, yeah. In every course you take, have him in mind. He will see that your paths are smooth. That is, trust wholeheartedly in Yahweh. Put no faith in your own perception. Trust wholeheartedly in Yah. Trust wholeheartedly in Yo. Put no faith in your own perception. In every course you take, have him in mind. He will see that your paths are smooth. Do not think of yourself as wise. Fear Yo. Fear Yah. Fear Yo. Fear Jehovah, Yahweh. Fear Yo. And turn your back on evil. Health giving this to your body. Relief to your bones. Honor Yahweh, honor Yah with what goods you have. Honor Yo with what goods you have. And with the first fruits of all your returns. Then your barns will be filled with wheat, your vats overflowing with new wine. My son, do not scorn correction from Yahweh, Jehovah, Jah. Do not resent his rebuke, for Yahweh, Yo, reproves. For Yahweh reproves, for Yo reproves the man he loves, as a father checks a well-loved son. Happy the man who discovers wisdom. This is subtitled, The Joys of Wisdom. The header to this. Happy the man who discovers wisdom, the man who gains discernment. Gaining her is more rewarding than silver, more profitable than gold. She is beyond the price of pearls. Nothing you could covet is her equal. In her right hand is length of days. In her left hand, riches and honor. So is this looking at wisdom? If wisdom was in front of me, in her right hand. So on that side? No, on this side. So the side that my left hand is on is length of days. In her left hand, the side that my right hand would be connected to, is riches and honor. In my right arm and my right hand. Do you believe that that is connected to when you can look people in the eye, and I'm looking at a number of people and their right hand is super empowered? Or you think those people have wealth but not length of days? So as I'm looking at a number of these people, all these models that I'm looking at, like my left eye is looking them directly in their right eye. It's because they're using their resources and expending them either to attack me or benefit me, but either way it benefits me. So like that's what it looks like to me, because it's just proving my points correct. It proves wisdom correct. Wisdom is a woman, by the way, as described in this book. Or feminine, shokmat. Correct, right? Yeah. Additionally, you can go to the left and right hand as far as the left-handed path and the right-handed path. I mean, these are occult terms, which is... No, it's just right in the Proverbs, y'all. That's it. Her ways are delightful ways. Her paths all lead to contentment. She is a tree of life for those who hold her fast. Those who cling to her live happy lives. Though in her left hand is riches and honor. If I'm wisdom, if I'm to take on the word of God, and that's wisdom, but I'm also looking in the mirror. The way I look at it may not be the way everybody else looks at it. That may be reversed. I may have some sort of wealth, but not length of days versus, and the length of days initiates when the end is come moment, and I don't have to stress out anymore because people aren't harassing me and the magistrate here isn't harassing me. Judge Baldwin and Nick Vo are condemned for their abusive behavior around this situation where they have been torturing me in 2019 America as part of some kind of abusive torture event put on by people here in Texas, allowed by the state of Texas illegally. This needs to end. I know that people are aware and they're pretending that they're not aware, and then they're trying to cut off networking, but this all ends as they continue to illegally abuse my rights away. People will just deal with them in ways which are extrajudicial. Like, you know, a magistrate will decide to deal with them in that way because they've been abusing me in that way. So it recoils back on their head. That's wisdom, is to not be hurting people in public like this. You need to stop. This needs to be ended. The city of Houston needs to make this right. The state of Texas needs to make this right. The United States needs to make this right. The Christian church and Islam, Mecca Slams, needs to make this right. Everybody needs to make this right. She is a tree of life for those who hold her fast. Those who cling to her live happy lives. By wisdom, Yahweh set the earth on its foundations. By discernment, he fixed the heavens firm. Through his knowledge, the depths were carved out, and the clouds rained down the dew. So that's wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. I believe the nation of Mecca-Slam, nation of Islam, who probably realized that this is more Egypt than anything. That's what even in their own words probably would describe. Yo, the IP comes from here. Yo is the god of Egypt. You get how it's hard to bullshit? It's hard to bullshit me. It's hard to bullshit the actual spirit of God. Let's go to that place where this all works out. How about instead of letting these people harass me here in America and make an example of me as, I'm pretty sure Islam is just some kind of Monkey King joke religion. I mean, it's a joke that some kind of Buddhist Bisha Mountain, that Bitcha Mountain, one of the four heavenly kings. I think this is just some kind of like joke, like sexual abuse joke that has been used to like hold me down. And these are kind of like the Lamasu or something. And I'm having to like undo a bunch of people's abusive behaviors, and the shades are these Stephanie Yostin characters or something. Whoever has been put in front of me, you're done. Like this is the actual magistrate and Bible. This is the wisdom. This is the word of God. The word of Elohim. Allah is a feminine ending. In Hebrew, that's where Arabic comes from. It's a feminine ending. Whereas Elohim, when I go up on this, you can see all these names here. So Al Shaddai, El Shaddai, Al Shady, Elohinu, Sabaoth. It says Lord of Hosts. That's Lord of, like, God of War. This is the army, war, campaign, or matter, God of matter, God of the army. Sidkenu, righteousness. But here's some other ones. The Most High God, Ilah, Ilion, Elohim, Allahim. This is the actual Genesis 1:1. This is the gods. This is the male gods in like, this is what the male gods come together and decide versus some kind of, I'm pretty sure Allah is some kind of female rape magistrate. Some kind of Mecca rape magistrate that's being used by some fake emperor. By the way, salam, shalom, shalom, shin. Though the shin can be a sin, right? If it's sin, salam, shalom, shema, Yoshim. So even these Jews who say, oh, Shem, well, Ezekiel 48 in your own book. Yo, Shem, Ezekiel 48:35. Lord is present. There you go. That's the name put on the word in Revelation. It's the name put on the one who takes on the word. My son, hold to sound judgment and to prudence. Do not let them out of your sight. They will prove the life of your soul, an ornament round your neck. You will go on your way in safety. Your feet will not stumble. When you sit down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, sweet will be your sleep. By the way, I was saying a little b last time. Here's a little b. It says, when you sit down, you lie down in Hebrew. So this actually, there's Greek and Hebrew because it was written in Hebrew. The Old Testament was written in Hebrew. The New Testament was written in Greek. Jesus came speaking Hebrew, but he came into like a Greek society. Like they had already been Hellenized. So he's making sense of it to Greek people. But it's from Hebrew because that's where the language and logic and etymologically, even the Greek comes from the Hebrew. That's why a lot of it is like cognate. That's why words like Judah is spelled in Greek and in Hebrew. In Hebrew, Yod He Wab Dalet He, I believe, and in Greek, Iota Omicron or Omega Upsilon Delta Eta. It ends up being, because the Greek is more like spoken and doesn't have meaning to every letter in the same way that the Hebrew does. But you can tell, you can reference the Hebrew from the Greek, so you can call bullshit on people. So the name of God is clearly Yo or Yah from the Hebrew and the Greek. There's two witnesses, the Hebrew and the Greek. There you go. My son, hold to sound judgment and to prudence. Do not let them out of your sight. They will prove the life of your soul, an ornament round your neck. Okay, I already said this. You will go in safety. Your feet will not stumble. When you sit down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, sweet will be your sleep. Have no fear of sudden terror. Have no fear of sudden terror or of assault from wicked men, since Yah will be your guarantor. Since Yo will be your guarantor. Since Yahweh, Jehovah, will be your guarantor. He will keep your steps from the snare. Do not refuse a kindness to anyone who begs it, if it is in your power to perform it. Do not say to your neighbor, and there's a little C next to it, see? Neighbor, originally meant companion, friend, associate, one with whom man had specific relationship, but in Proverbs, the word takes on a wider sense, fellow man. This is the first step towards broadening of precept of charity, Leviticus 19:18, which will reach its final form in the command of Jesus, love your enemies. Go away, come another time. I will give it to you tomorrow, if you can do it now. Do not plot harm against your neighbor, as he lives unsuspecting next door. Do not pick a groundless quarrel with a man who has done you no harm. By the way, I got evicted because my neighbor next door is playing part in this harassment. Stephanie Malin at the Sovereign on 3233 West Dallas. And I got evicted illegally as they're harassing me and messing with my power. I have it all recorded. And I believe that they were abusing me in that time period and they were definitely harassing me, and they messed with a lot of my stuff. And all of that was illegal. I mean, they can't be doing that. They can't be shutting off my power and messing with me while I'm in there. So, do not plot harm against your neighbor as he lives unsuspecting next door. Do not pick a groundless quarrel with a man who has done you no harm. Do not emulate the man of violence, little d. The seeming prosperity of the godless men of violence, perverse men, wicked, mockers, fools, various terms for the enemies of Yahweh, has always been a threat to the constancy of the Israelites and later became a serious theological problem. Talks about in Jeremiah and Job and Eob. For the willful wrongdoer is abhorrent to Yahweh, to Yahweh, who confides only in honest men. Yahweh's curse lies on the house of the wicked, but he blesses the home of the virtuous. He mocks those who mock, but accords his favor to the humble, honors the portion of the wise. All that fools inherit, little e, is disgrace. Is that what the Stephanie Yostin, they have a little e to try to describe that? The Stephanie Yostins. Okay, last part of this, it says, well, that's it. I wanted to go over some more, but I think that's going to be it for now. So I hope you've enjoyed. And I'll be putting this up in a moment. Again, Christians, you're waiting on an earthquake here. That signifies the one that name, Jehovah, is put on. That name, IA, is put on. So to Nick Vo, who has committed perjury and is playing part in an abusive event, torture event here in Houston, Texas in 2019, some dude from Tennessee who thinks he can come here to Houston and be a police officer and steal away some land with Judge Baldwin, who's been pressured as a rookie judge to harass me. This is being watched by the whole planet. I'm getting messages from Africa and talking to people and communicating with people in Hong Kong, wherever else. They're looking at this as Americans' rights are being violated by other Americans. They aren't looking at this as the court is doing the right thing, upholding the law. The people pretending that this isn't being watched and mechanically acting like abusive people, Detective Nick Vo, who could have ended this a long time ago, but has been pressured by the gang of abusive police officers here. I think he's participated in this rape event around Stephanie Yostin. In any sense, if he kissed her, if he had any contact with her, they know about her. It's wrong and illegal what they've done. He's committed perjury already, just in the fact that you can see from the YouTube video what he's saying isn't the whole story, to say the least. Judge Baldwin knows and is pretending this isn't a public event and is abusing me here in 2019. This hurts more than getting hit by a car. I'm very tempted to put a go order to end this because it hurts more than getting hit by a car, but I'm very patient. You guys need to end this. You violated my rights here in 2019 America by hitting me with a legal vehicle that doesn't have legal authority to be operating at this point. You've hit me with a throne that's operating. I believe the federal courts know about this, that I've been hit by the executive branch's legal throne, and that it is hurting me in an illegal fashion because I didn't do anything to merit the response that was received, and that I'm still being violated in a covert fashion, that my rights are being violated. I'm being shadow banned, and I'm being hurt. And people around me, women, are being paid off in abusive sexual fashion, and the court is being paid off. In the least, Judge Baldwin is being promised like social, you get to go up the ladder if you treat this like this, and it's wrong and illegal and abusive. This is the most public event to ever happen on the planet, and she's participating in it in an abusive way. It's delegitimizing the Texas and Harris County, Texas magistrates, the American magistrates, magistrate in general. So magistrate is going to deal with it if she doesn't immediately take a reasonable action. Same thing with the rest of the state of Texas. You're hurting me. It hurts. You hurt me for no reason. You're playing part in an abusive rape event. Whether these women's sexuality has been used or not already, their image is being used to hold down on an event that has already happened, that it's very hard within this chaos to point out, because I'm being attacked at my perception, as I'm saying, in a way that hurts more constantly than being hit by a car. Other than that, that's it. Hail trace, the hail is coming back. You see that? And the hail has been doing damage. So all the monetary damage, plus all the damage from holding back the crypto, plus all that, you can hold it on Judge Baldwin, Nick Vo, Donald Trump, all these all these abusive people around me. This needs to end now. God is saying so. Magistrate, Yah, IA is saying so. Actually, Yah, God actually. They're trying to take me in for a competency evaluation. If I have to go to a competency evaluation, you're going to be thrown into a burning lake alive. I'm competent enough to know that I'm hurting, and you aren't taking that seriously, and you could prove that they've hurt me and injured me, and they're trying not to. I'm competent enough. All right, have a blessed one. That's it. That's all. Still waiting on the earthquake here. These Jews don't want to admit. By the way, I love Jews. I love Jew. But I don't like fake Jews just saying that they're culturally Jewish when they don't believe in the name of God, actually. So, I love Jew. Have a blessed day. Yeah.